The sequel to Disavowed, Control picks up shortly after Dr. Bashir and Serena Douglas return home to Andor. Having completed their latest mission for the shadowy organization, they continue their efforts to take them down from the inside, but the closer they get, the more dangerous it becomes. Set in the familiar Star Trek universe in what is now known as the First Splinter Timeline, this story takes place after Dr. Bashir saves the Andorian people from their reproductive crisis and is pardoned by the Federation president, moving to a quiet life on Andor. But despite his efforts to stay out of the spotlight, Section 31 has other plans for him, and he for them. Once again taking center stage, Dr. Julian Bashir and Serena Douglas are thrust into the center of a conspiracy built at the very heart of Starfleet and the Federation. They are joined by Orla Granov, a Trill reporter determined to uncover the story, and the duo of Data and Lal, the android formerly of the Enterprise crew, and his daughter. Section 31 exists in the shadows. Operating without oversight, accountability, or rules, it does what is necessary to safeguard the Federation. But the depths to which it will travel to accomplish those goals are far deeper than anyone expected. When an early copy of the software designed to monitor and report is discovered on a 22nd century computer, it kickstarts a chain of events that will either undo Section 31 forever or end Dr. Bashir's life. Control answers a lot of questions that I never knew to ask about both Section 31, the artificial intelligence directing their efforts, and the origins of the organization itself. First introduced in the Deep Space Nine episode Inquisition, they are the shadowy hand that moves behind the scenes, protecting the Federation and its people by any means necessary. Willing to do whatever it takes to accomplish that goal, they are invisible with eyes and ears everywhere, and almost no one knows they exist. Told in two parallel storylines, the DNA of the shadowy organization is exposed at last. Alternating between the present-day story of Dr. Bashir's efforts to destroy the organization at all costs, we see the origins of Section 31 during the formative years of the Federation. Beginning as a simple piece of software designed to monitor and notify of any potential threats, it is when the program known as Uri cannot stop the Xindi attack on Earth that expands its reach into the far future. Seeking to carry out its core directive, it determines that it now needs human agents and resources far beyond a single Warp 5 starship to protect Earth. From this is born the mysterious Section 31, with a broad mandate and answerable to no one but its mysterious taskmaster, Control. When a Trill reporter named Orla Granov becomes aware of the pernicious software, she seeks out answers, and soon she and Dr. Bashir find themselves the target of Section 31 and all of its resources. With limited options and on the run, they must seek help to carry out their mission before it's too late. The book does a wonderful job of reinforcing the adage, the road to hell is paved with good intentions. A question often asked in a free society, how much privacy are you willing to sacrifice in the name of security? Adding a whole new layer to the story of the insidious Section 31, we find out just how deep the rabbit hole goes as Dr. Bashir struggles to stay one step ahead of an enemy that is literally everywhere. It did a fantastic job of conveying the isolation and adrenaline of the conspiracy thriller, blended seamlessly with the flashbacks that show how a simple program designed to protect us became a monster even those who created it could not control. The story crafts an excellent parallel narrative set in the universe we all know and love, doing a wonderful job of making an omnipresent and practically limitless enemy feel like a genuine threat. It also makes me think of the burden of knowledge, of how much of our safety depends on what we know, or rather what we don't know about what happens in the world around us. While by and large I rather enjoyed the book, it was perhaps less entertaining to me for the fact that I generally dislike the notion of anyone misusing something good for less than altruistic ends. I found the ending to be a little depressing, not the least of which because it explains how Dr. Bashir ended up in the catatonic state he is shown to be in during the Coda trilogy, but the fact that the author ended up playing the It's Not Over card, with the entire novel's events, including many before it even occurred, all being part of the plan. I suppose it chafes me because I don't like the idea that our fates are out of our hands, or that all that effort was effectively for nothing. Also, while most of the time it's kind of stunning at first, it becomes somewhat incredulous when taken to extremes, even though I acknowledge this is not the first media in which I've seen this suggested. But generally, unless clues were planted that the audience was aware of, this plot device often feels like an excuse to justify an assertion that can't be proven, mainly the statement that it was all part of the plan to get you where you need to be. Although I appreciate the writing of David Mack and the story as a whole for filling in some additional gaps, it just left me feeling a bit down, which is perhaps the point, but all the same, I have to recommend it with reservations. While it's a good Trek book, it's not a feel-good book so you know what you're getting into. But if you like Section 31, I'd recommend this book's predecessor, Disavowed. If you like werewolves, check out my book Blue Moon, available in paperback and ebook on Amazon. Thanks for watching. If you liked it, click the subscribe button and leave a comment below. See you next time.